Hello everyone and welcome to what is potentially, well, it's never going to be the last episode, but it's the last story-based episode, even though we skip everything story-related as is anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much. This does not seem very randomized, I'm going to be honest with you. It is a horde of shadows though, which tend to not get randomized at all anyway, so that might have something to do with it. The items, however, will be randomized. So what is the plan for today? The plan for today is getting a drive converter to begin with, which is an ability, and then a lucid crystal. But today the plan is going up all the way to Zamnes. I don't know if we'll be able to do that depending on a number of different things. Most importantly, if we have to re-randomize a lot of bosses, we might only go up to the bosses, which are Syx and Luxor, that's what they are. Auto final. That might actually allow me to get into final form. Not a bad idea to take a look at. First and foremost though, most importantly, is we're going to fight Roxas. Or this fight, which is not Roxas, and I don't know if it'll actually work. I think this will actually work. I remember this boss fight being an issue before, but I think it spawned up higher, so I couldn't do this before, where I can... No, I cannot. Yeah, no, this is a really bad start. We have to re-randomize already, that was fun. Oh no, this is much better. It's the same program that we've beaten a million times by now. At least we can beat this one, right? We fought this boss fight more times than I actually have different randomization patches at this point, I think. So the bosses don't just get swapped, they literally get randomized, meaning that duplicate bosses in the same ISO probably are possible, because again, I think this is... Technically, I think this is the fourth time we're fighting you, which means that, yeah, technically speaking, I have 4 ISOs. So there is a small chance that I'm either misremembering how many times we actually battle you, or that, fuck off. Or that's something else. I don't know what I was saying anymore. I'm trying to just listen to this music. This is probably my favorite battle, like music-wise, in the at least this game. I don't want to say Kingdom Hearts 3 necessarily, because the music that plays during the Xehanort Cube fight, as I like to call it, which is young Xehanort, Ansem, and Zamnes at the same time, that remix is really fucking good. And I think during the fight where you have Xion and Roxas on your team against Syx, a version of this theme combined with Xion's theme plays, which is also really good. It's not unique music, it's remixes of themes and songs that we've already heard. Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't have a lot of great new music, sadly. Unlike this game, which had a lot. Well, this, I always like it when a battle has a theme, or just music playing in general, that isn't as like upbeat and like a lot of like drum sounds and stuff, but more like just laid down and defender and max HP increase. Thank you. Just like more downbeat and a little bit like relaxed and just like emotional, right? I know you can't do that for every single battle, obviously, because not every single battle has the emotional weight. Thank you for both of those. To support that kind of music. Obviously, Roxas versus Sora definitely has that emotional weight, but not every single battle has, and that's okay. But I like it when it does. And that's Ultimate Mushroom, which I think is literally what Goofy's wearing already anyway. Not that I can change it at this point, because I can't even enter the Garden of Assemblage map. I can't even enter the item menu at this point, because the game will just immediately crash. So I don't even know why I'm opening small chests anymore, because small chests can't even give me magic, I don't think. The big chests can, which is why I'm still opening those. Or they give me magic haste, which I don't even know what that does. Crystal Orb, that is Okay. This is a lot easier than it is in the original game, because there's no sorcerers, at least so far. Yeah, and sorcerers, while giving a lot of experience and being really, really good for grinding, just running up and down the world and ever was is probably the best way to grind in Kingdom Hearts 2, honestly. Final mix, that is. In the original Kingdom Hearts 2, there was the Pride Rock thing, but that's just one heartless in the Final Mix version of the game, so you can't do that. Sorcerers give a lot of experience, and we're going to be missing out on that, but we also don't have to deal with all of those. So that is okay in my book. And now we have to... I think this elevator actually works on just a timer base, so we don't even... Yeah, I'm pretty sure it does. We don't even have to kill all of the enemies that spawn on here, which is really good, because probably some enemies are going to spawn outside of the elevator itself, which obviously is not good if you need to kill everything. That being said, we're about to enter Zigbar's room, so yeah, I'm starting to think that we're probably going to be able to do the entirety of the game. That look... Am I insane, or does that look smaller than the big chest we had before? It's definitely a big chest, but not as big. Let's save state before we go into the Zigbar room, and that's already the second boss of today's episode. But yeah, we're definitely going to make it all the way to and through the Zamnes fights. Again, the Zamnes boss sequence of like 5 fights in a row. Some of them likely won't be randomized. But hey, hello Cerberus! You're usually in a little bit of a bigger arena, aren't you? Feels a little bit crowded for you, I feel. And holy crap, I'm dealing a lot of damage against you. I want to target the middle hat, just because that way I can do the most damage by hitting the hats to the side as well. I can't wait, by the way, until we finish this. We'll do this episode, and then we'll do the optional bosses episode, which pretty much just means Sephiroth, whatever Sephiroth turns into, that is, the Data Organization and Lingering Will. For that, I will likely have to, well, not even likely, for that I will have to get a save file from online, a 100% completed save file, because otherwise I can't fight Lingering Will. And I don't have the drive forms to access the Cavern of Remembrance. So I don't know why my controller just plugged in. I've been using it for the past 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you very much for that. So we'll be doing all of that next episode. But after that, obviously, this series is over, because we're not doing Atlantica. Probably. Let's save state again. We're not doing Atlantica, most likely, because there's nothing there to do, other than getting a couple of randomized items after we've completed the entire game anyway. It's not that exciting. And we got Valor Form. About fucking time? Too early, too late? I can't use forms anyway. So what I've decided is that we're going to stick with the Kingdom Hearts thing, because I have quite enjoyed playing Kingdom Hearts for the Sunday uploads once a week. You know, it's not too much, but it's fun. I'm obviously not going to do a new randomizer right away, because one, I'm kind of fucking done with this randomizer because it keeps crashing so much, and I'm not about that. And I also want to just do something different, but I still want to play Kingdom Hearts. And we talked about this a little bit before with other different Kingdom Hearts mods. Yeah, there are a couple interesting ones. So what we'll be doing, starting not next week, but the week after that most likely, is going through the game with the Vanitas mods. Which means I will be playing as Vanitas, some minor gameplay differences. There is 3 new optional bosses added in that mod. And just generally, save states again. I don't know how this is going to work. I'm expecting just a boss to appear here, which has nothing to do with Luxor's time mechanic. But Luxor's time mechanic... Okay, it's literally just the Luxor's fight, because otherwise it probably shits itself. That is fair enough. Oh no, are you? You're data luxed. You are very much data luxed. We are not doing data luxed. I'm very sorry to disappoint you, but data luxed is probably one of the most annoying fights in the game. Are you data luxed? You did start off with me as a cube, which I think is something data luxed does. So I think we're fighting data luxed. But then again, my time isn't going down nearly as quickly as I would expect from data luxed. So maybe I'm not. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I'm doing quite a bit of damage against him, actually. I think this is just normal luxed, which probably means that the data luxed fight is going to be data luxed, which means that we will not be doing that one. Because there's one data fight I refuse to take seriously, and that is data luxed. Data luxed in 3 is a lot... That's not what I wanted. Data luxed in 3 is a lot better. Still, not my favorite boss fight in the DLC by a mile. But a lot better than the one in this game, for sure. Because the one in this game is just unfair. It's just stupid. Especially since, like, the almost frame-perfect timing you need to have with his desperation move at the end, and you can't skip it. I think it's honestly kind of bullshit. And I'm almost dying to Luxord, so that makes me think that if I wasn't beating you, I would think that you were Data Luxord. But if you were Data Luxord, you probably would have done your DM quite a while ago. So you're just normal Luxord, we're going to be beating you, and then there we go, it's DM time. I don't know if Psyx will also just be Psyx. I'm assuming there is a chance because of the whole moon gauge gimmick. Okay, here we are. I'm very bad at this minigame, I might add, so we're going to be cheesing this. Yeah, this is not data. This is... Oh, damn it! You don't actually need to win against non-data for that, I might add. I almost won that though, which I think always just wins you the fight. If you win that DM minigame, you win. Well, that's what winning means. You know what I mean. I'm just trying to focus on the fight itself here because I fucking hate this fight. Have I mentioned how much I dislike the Luxord fight? We have encountered Luxord like a million times. Magnet element, thank you. HP increase. At this point, kind of unnecessary. We've encountered Luxord like more times than I care to count during this series. Finally, we were able to actually beat him, and that is a shield for Goofy, I think. And with that, we can now go fight Psyx, or whatever Psyx turns into. I don't know if Psyx will turn into anything. I do know one thing, and that is that we're going to save states before we go in there, because I don't want to lose all of this progress. It's an entire like 15 minutes of gameplay. I don't want to have to redo all of that. I'm that lazy. You're Tifa. Okay, this will be laughably easy. But you don't have an HP bar. I hope that does not mean that Tifa is now immortal, because an immortal Tifa sounds kinda scary, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm assuming... Yeah, that's that. Okay, let's move on to Zamnes. This is going way too quickly and way too well. I know something, it's just gonna fuck me up. I just know it. Get in a blazing jam. Fantastic. We've literally defeated all the bosses up till Zamnes now. We just have to do Zamnes. So if you were still wondering, maybe he's gonna split the Water Never Was into two. We're 17 minutes into the recording, which means probably like 15 minutes into the video. Yeah, we're doing the entirety of the Water Never Was today, because we're running through this really, really, really quickly. We have Riku back. I don't care. Honestly. I kind of wish, I think I've said this before, though I'm going to say it again. I kind of wish that your party names also got randomized so that you I don't know, in Beast Castle, like, have Riku, and then in the World That Never Was, you have Mulan, and then in Land of Dragons, you have, like, Simba, I guess. I guess that would actually make things slightly complicated if Simba needed to exist outside of the Pride Lands. That might actually be an issue. Yeah, so that might actually be a big part of the reason that we use the save state. No! I saved in a crashing loading screen. Fuck me. I guess we'll have to redo all of that. I meant to reload a state. Shit. Do I have a different state? Nope. Only got this one. I think that means we have to redo the entire World That Never Was up until now. Well, see you guys back in like 15 minutes. I do realise that for you guys it won't be 15 minutes. For you guys it'll be instantaneous, but I'm annoyed that I have to do all that again because I was just using save states, because if the game crashed, I could just load the state and then save, actual save, and then load through that, so I didn't have to go into the save menu every single time, and that kind of backfired when I was stupid and I pressed the wrong button. Instead of loading a state, I saved a state while I was crashing. That wasn't brilliant, gonna be honest with you. At least this time I can ignore all of the chests because I know nothing in them has anything useful. This time I won! And just like that, you go back to being a driver. Bye-bye. Well, that was much easier now, wasn't it? This time we actually made it here with a different randomization patch, and let's make it up the final area of the game. Get a couple more chests like a Air Combo Plus, which actually might not be a bad idea to equip. I'll check that in a moment. Actually, I won't get any opportunity to check that before the next battle, unless I finish literally every enemy in this room, which I will not. I just won't. It's just going to be that easy. We've been doing pretty well so far. I feel like without like one more Air Combo Plus, we'll still be fine. Same with that ribbon. We can't equip it anyway. I've been complaining about that a lot. I'm still annoyed. That's not going to be an issue for Nidus starting in a couple of weeks. So, we actually do get an opportunity. Let's save state, just because I don't trust anything. I'm going to go through my abilities and see which ones I want to equip, and I'll be back with you in a moment. I don't have scan equipped, but I can see HP. I'm confused. I don't even know what this is. It's ID not found, clearly, but in my abilities list? At the very bottom? What? I don't even care. Let's save state just in case we crush anything and take on the first form of Zamnes with very weird accents. The one that's not replayable until the data fight, that is.
You really shouldn't have betrayed us.
Okay, I'm going to clip through the floor here in a moment, just so that you know. Because that's what Zigbar does. He clips you through the floor. He does not clip you through the floor. We can actually beat this one, if we're lucky. Yeah. So, in theory, I don't know how this will work, now that we're not going to clip through the floor. But we should be able to beat Zigbar for the first time since actually ever. And that is when you hit him and absolutely annihilate. Oh my god, talking about absolutely annihilation. Yeah, and there we go, clipping through the floor. I knew it was going to happen sooner or later. Technically, we can still hit him. Technically, we can still win this. And maybe... Okay, there is a chance, actually. There is a chance that he'll reset us. If I had Combo Master, I'd be able to go up. I don't, however. So... Yeah, okay, that was my only hope, that him resetting the arena would actually reset me back up as well. I did the same mistake again. Don't record after long. Oh, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back, we're back. I don't know what happened, but we're back. Okay, so we can beat him. Holy shit. Which means that definitely it'll not be easy, but it'll be possible to win this. And with not be easy, I mean, it's gonna be really easy, but also fairly tedious at the same time, because look at the damage output we're doing against this man. I know we're on beginner mode. It's kind of like what you do on beginner mode, just deal a lot of damage. But still, this is just satisfying, isn't it? Can I just warp snipe you? I don't know if that did damage or not. Gonna be honest with you, I don't really care. I just want to finish this fight. Aren't you usually invincible? Is that only during the birth by sleep fight where you're invincible for your mega attack? That's probably a birth by sleep fight I'm thinking about. Okay, so he's entering DM range, definitely, because he's teleporting a lot. And doing that warp snipe thing quite a lot, so I probably should be taking advantage of that, because I think that can damage him as well. Okay, I think we win. By the way, I did equip Horizontal Slash. Just in case you were wondering. I finally did. It took me like 4 episodes to do, if not 5. But, yeah, that's a good one, Zigbar. Very, very good one. I'm really threatened by you right now. Okay, so there he is invincible, but to be fair, usually you're kind of a little bit too busy to be hitting him anyway. And that has been Zigbar. Maximum HP and MP increase. I'm baffled by the amount of HP this game is giving me at this point. I don't know if there is a hard limit on when the game just stops giving you HP. Rumbling Rose. And with that, we're ready for the actual final boss. So for this one, I'm going to use the save menu just because I don't want to lose progress against that Zigbar fight. I still don't know why we teleported back up at some point and not at those points, and it's weird. And why he didn't teleport me back down again, because that seemed like a really good strategy to get rid of me. We're taking on the final boss of this game at under level 40. That is stupid. That is how easy beginner mode is, and how well this randomizer has gone for me. Admittedly, I've been given quite a lot of easy fights. Never got to the last proof though, so I still only have a silver crown. There's still a chance. I don't think there's a chance. I don't think you get any items anymore at this point in the game. So yeah, no, we're going to finish the game with a silver crown. Next episode, obviously, we'll have a golden crown because I'll have a 100% completed save file to play. But until then, yeah, it's silver crown town all around. This fight should not change. The next fight should not change. Zamnes dragon himself. The dragon won't change. The armored Zamnes probably will be a randomized boss fight. In both fights. Then the actual like Zamnes dragon proper, the one you play as pretty much a gummy ship, shouldn't be randomized either, because that is more of a gummy route than it is an actual boss fight, and gummy routes have not been randomized at all, so I'm assuming that doesn't get randomized, and then final Zamnes obviously gets randomized. So we need to get lucky with 3 in a row randomized bosses being beatable. If any of the 3 in the sequence is not beatable because it's fucking Luxor or something stupid like that, or that goddamn door, we are just kind of screwed. Because we have to start right from all the way back here again. That is what makes this specific sequence such a pain to do in a randomizer. So I'm hoping that we just get really lucky. Honestly, that's everything we can hope for. Or that maybe one or two of the fights, like maybe Zamnes Dragon doesn't actually, or Zamnes Armor, Zamnes Dragon is a separate boss fight. Zamnes Armor doesn't actually get randomized or something like that. That would also work. It'd be a little bit less fun. It'll definitely be a lot less fun if they don't get randomized, but it'll be a lot more doable because ballet, I only have to worry about the very final fight getting randomized, which is still tedious. Having to go through all of these fights just to get a chance at getting a re-randomization, obviously, but we've done the reactor cores, or whatever they're called, the units, energy cores, I don't know. And now we move on to the second phase here, which is the... Oh, this is the energy core, which, again, doesn't get randomized. The enemies here probably do get randomized, and one got randomized into sorcerer blocks, which means that this is now an unbeatable fight. Most likely, because you can't kill those sorcerer blocks. Right, that's how that works? I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Yeah, so we have to re-randomize already. Before even getting to a boss fight proper. Because of a endless enemy gauntlet. There is a decent chance that this will not actually be a randomized final boss. I'm just warning you guys, there's a decent chance. I hope that that's not what ends up happening, but let's be honest, it's probably not. Let's give this another try, why won't we? This time, hopefully, without any random sorcerer block spawning that I cannot actually beat. That will be fantastic. Again, I am fully assuming that this is gonna be an unbeatable portion of the fight. And if not, we still have 3 bosses to do after this, which might end up being unbeatable because they might, like, spawn through the floor or something like that. There is a lot of shenanigans that can still happen and will still happen. And we are limited to only having 4 randomized patches. And we have no way to switch between patches in between fights. So if there's not a single patch which is possible for the entire thing from the start, we just kinda can't do it. Which would be a shame, but you see, this is a real roadblock. There's multiple enemy gauntlets here, and if even one of the enemies in any of these gauntlets doesn't spawn correctly, this barrier never goes back down. So a good way to do this quicker is just use Magnagar, because the moment anything spawns, they die. They tend to spawn a little bit closer to the middle, so if you just use Magnagar in the middle, you just automatically kill everything. Which is a really useful technique, actually. Now, let's hope that this does not fuck up again, because we all know that it will. Very likely. This doesn't seem like the correct amount of enemies already. This has me very worried. Maybe I'm mistaken, or maybe this will be the one. If this isn't the one, I still have one more patch, which I have a little bit more faith for, because it is the safe patch, which has taken into account things like RAM overloading and impossible bosses and stuff like that. So if this one doesn't work, there's still a possibility that it will be fine, but it's a slim one. Gonna be honest with you, it's not a very big possibility. A possibility nonetheless, but an unlikely one. What I end up see like is going to happen here is that we just end up fighting normal Zamnes, and there we go, we're missing enemies again, because why wouldn't we be? And this time the game just crashed. I was about to start talking again. Okay. I guess that is it. That was the last patch. Damn it. We got so close, but none of the patches actually let us go through there. And if I go through there with a clean patch, there is no moment for me where I can change patches into a randomized one. So we'll never know what the last 3 bosses there were. It's really annoying. If you're annoyed by that, I can simulate what the ending of this episode would have looked like without actually playing it. Because Here you see some footage of me defeating Zamnes, just normal as Zamnes, from my Kingdom Hearts 2 proper Let's Play, like years ago. That's what this would have looked like. So next time we'll be back with a 100% completed save file. There's probably one online I can find. I haven't actually looked that up, but hopefully there will be one. And we'll be taking on first Sephiroth, then the Lingering Will, and then the Data Organizations. Sephiroth and the Lingering Will I will re-randomize if they end up being like soft-locked or are just being impossible or whatever. The Data Organization is just one go-through. It's just 13 fights. If one doesn't work, we move on to the next. I'm not going to do 4 patches for every single one of them potentially, because that is like 40 fights, and I ain't about that. So that's going to be next episode, and after that we start with the Vanitas run-through of Kingdom Hearts 2. Until then, this has been anticlimactic a little bit. Yeah, it has. See you back next time. Bye.